feared for the power of her mind, worried about what she could find.
Hey Virgo, this is your full moon revelation secret spill reading, and I'm using my own cards, my medieval oracle deck. Actually, these full moon revelation readings are about, spilling secrets. Secrets are often nasty, that's why people hide them. But you are the second sign I'm reading for. The first one was Taurus, and it's similar with you. Like there is nothing nasty here. It feels very harmonious. It feels very peaceful. Just that yours feels a lot more spiritual than Taurus's reading. It feels very, very soft and intuitive. It's a very subtle reading. What else did I want to say? I think that's it so far for the intro. So in the middle of your spread we have the Frog card. The Frog card mainly stands for transformation in my deck, but for an unknown reason in your spread, yes, it stands for that too, but that's the least important part of this card right now. There is something literally about an animal that could show up as a physical animal in your life, but it could also be a kind of spirit guide that does not have a physical body, something in your intuition. It is connected to the moon. The moon card is very intuitive here. There's a lot about, clairvoyance, intuition. I feel like you're becoming very, very sensitive to things, to your own spiritual gifts. My God, this whole reading is so soft. I never had such a soft and gentle spread in front of me. Oh my God, it's so hard to put all this into words. Like, so many things are popping up here. So this frog, I feel like this frog is highly spiritually connected to you. It could be your pet, and of course your pet doesn't have to be a frog, but it could also just be an animal that you will make a connection to in the near future. Even if it's just for a few seconds, like this animal will guide you to a very huge realization regarding your own spiritual gifts. Like something will also change then, of course. It is a change, but it's not so much about an external change. There is an external change coming in here with the letter or the document, but this is the least important aspect. This is just a byproduct of this huge internal shift that is now hidden but will soon come in. And it will come in so softly and so subtly, but it will be so vast. Like the moon, we give so much attention and rise to the sun. And I love the sun. But the moon, I feel like, is so underrated. It is so unbelievably powerful and influential, but it's so subtle at the same time. This reading feels very motherly. There could be something regarding your own motherhood. If you are pregnant at the moment, you could be very sensitive towards your child. Like you might even discover you have a very strong spiritual connection to this child. You could, maybe it sounds exaggerated and tacky, but maybe you could even have a feeling for what your child has gone through in their past life, something like that. Like it feels very, very profound. And look at the moon card, like the moon playing with the star, like it's her child. And of course, if you are a father, this could also, be the case for you here. Then the baby is not in your own belly, but it's in your partner's belly, and you can still have a connection, a spiritual connection. You don't have to carry it in your own body to have a spiritual connection to it. You could also discover a very soft, feminine, motherly side of yourself, even though maybe you were always this kind of night person, someone who is physically strong, fit, someone who is very hardworking. Like maybe you even have a very typical masculine job, but suddenly you discover this feminine aspect in yourself. And the night feels very gentle to me today as well, especially here. I mean, all the cards feel so mild and gentle. The frog could even be someone who will tell you that you're pregnant, or that, you know, your partner is pregnant. The frog also feels like someone who's protecting the child spiritually. The frog is also someone, the frog is patient, but I feel like he or she wants to jump forwards, and he or she wants you to follow them. They want to show you something. There is good news coming in regarding a specific healing. The healer could literally stand for a doctor, could also be a therapist or a social worker. And I feel like this person will bring in very good news regarding a certain healing here. It could be your own healing, it could be the healing of your child, it could be the healing of someone else or someone else's child. And for those of you where this is not about children or pregnancy, because that's not the main thing that I'm getting here, it's just something that I'm also getting. There could be some healing regarding someone's spirituality as well. Maybe, you know, sometimes we are ashamed of our spiritual gifts because, you know, in society, often these things are perceived as crazy. And sometimes, you know, let me just speak for myself as an example so that you understand where I'm trying to get here. Sometimes I have visions. Sometimes I had visions as a child. For example, of the apartment that I live in right now. And I had these visions like 25 years before I moved here. And sometimes, let's just say, maybe you sometimes have visions and they feel very real and they are very strong. But then they take years until they come true. And during those years, you start to doubt them because, you know, they don't come true the next day, week, or month because it takes so long until they come true. And then you think maybe you are just crazy, you know? And society often thinks that too. So for someone of you here, this could be the case that there's a healing regarding that you will really make friends with your spiritual gifts. You will not be ashamed. Like there is a healing towards regarding that. I also feel like maybe for just one person or two, it's not a lot here, just for very few. You could at one point even have gone to a therapy because of your spirituality, because you thought it was some kind of disease. In the worst case, some people even get locked away when they start to see certain things. But there's a healing regarding that too. It could also be that, you know, let's just say you were always some kind of clairvoyant, or you see or hear specific things and they do come true. And because you have that gift, someone discredited you somewhere because they thought you were crazy. But there is a healing towards that. Like there are a lot of good news coming in here. This is just for very few. For others of you, it's just really the beginning of this. That maybe you thought you didn't have, that maybe you thought, even if you're a woman, you can have a night personality. You can be someone who is working in a man's job, someone who is very physically strong and active, someone who is ready to fight, someone who is very brave, not afraid of getting hurt physically. Let me just be a little bit nasty here, a little bit sexist. Sometimes I have a feeling that men are more willing to get physically hurt than emotionally. And it's always, the saying that women are so overly emotional, but I feel like men are often so afraid of their emotions that they, I don't know, would rather get their arm chopped off than, I don't know, get into an emotionally painful situation. Okay, sorry. I just had this thought and I couldn't bite my tongue. So, but I feel like some women are also like that. So if you feel like you are such a person, this is changing due to this frog. I mean, for a few, this frog doesn't have to be an animal or a spiritual guide. It could also be a human being that's being represented by the frog. But it's not for everyone. It could even be like if you're a tough man, father, blah, blah, that you will hear of someone's pregnancy and this will make you suddenly very gentle, very soft. It's so soft here, but don't get me wrong, it's not weak. It's also not powerful. I don't even feel the need for being powerful here. Like there is someone who is so soaked in this gentleness that there is no desire for any power, because this gentleness, it is so vast, it is so fulfilling that there is no need for anything else. Oh God, I hope I don't sound too tacky, but it's just the vibe that I'm getting from your reading. And really, this letter card, there is some very good news coming in here for you, but it is just, you will not even care of it, care about it. Maybe this is a letter that you have been waiting for, or some good news that you have been obsessed with, waiting for years or for months. And you thought that if this news would ever come to you, it would be such a relief. But I feel like the relief will come first internally, and then when you finally receive those news that you've been waiting for so long, it will just be such a small incident for you. At the bottom of the deck, we have the mermaid. And she sometimes comes up as some unfulfilled desire, something that's hard to achieve. Beauty, sometimes for sexual healing, but I don't know, she doesn't come up in any of those meanings that I, created her for. She just feels soft, like someone who's smoothly diving through the ocean, and the ocean representing the vastness of our emotions. It's not like you are gaining control of your emotions, it's just like you're becoming very trusting towards your own emotions and intuition, even if it's waving. You know you are the mermaid and you cannot drown in them. But you also don't try to control them, you will just go with them, knowing they can't harm you, they can't hurt you. That is such a nice message, actually. And we have the rainbow card. My oracle deck here, my medieval oracle deck so far only has 33 cards. This is the last card, and it's a very spiritual card. It also, when I created the rainbow card, I used it as a metaphor for the third eye mainly. It has different meanings as well. But mainly I thought of, the different colors and that we have in our energy system and in our chakras, and the white light through the third eye being broken. And then, like a prism, it splits into these different colors. It's so hard to express, sorry, especially because, I'm not an English native speaker, so sometimes it's even harder to express everything in English. So it's just a confirmation, like there is so much focus on your spirituality and on your spiritual gifts. I don't mean the spirituality that you get from some YouTube videos or books that you soak in through your intellect. Not at all. It's like so much deeper than that. Okay, I'm gonna leave this part here. And now I want to pull some health and lifestyle cards for you as well from my own health and lifestyle deck. And I always say, please don't take these readings here literally and do not replace them, of course, with professional advice from your doctor. Let's just quickly dive into this part. So we have sunlight, oh, very nice. Treat yourself, oh, that's so, oh my God. You have such a nice reading. Fever, okay, not so nice. Oh my God, this reminds me of this whole baby stuff again. I think some babies often have fever. Then we have travel, lungs. Lungs can also represent other parts of the respiratory system. Fracture. Could be a warning to be careful at this time. Or if you have a fracture currently, could also be a good sign that this will heal soon. We had the healer in your reading. So there are good chances. Let me find her again. That there is some good news coming in. Doctor. I haven't gone into the healer so much, but I feel like there's a strong focus on her. It's also coming up here in your second part of the reading. Could also be that there's some kind of specialist that you will travel towards to for something, or the other way around. And we have candle. Candle can just stand for, you know, being cozy, withdrawing, relaxing, withdrawing from artificial light sources. We have sunlight here as well, so maybe you want to soak up the sun and during daytime, and in the evening then rather use candles instead of, you know, light bulbs. It has an effect on the body. Could also stand for romantic dinners, or, you know, maybe you find your own meaning to this card. One more. Swim. Maybe you will travel somewhere to go swimming. I'm going to leave it here for you. Thank you for watching.